right, Deb, thank you very much, and welcome everyone to the Continental Airlines Arena here in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the home court of the New Jersey Nets. But don't get fooled by that. In the first two games, in fact, in game number 1 here was Rick Carlisle's team that was victorious. That was their first series lead. The Nets came back, took game 2, and in game 3, the Pacers unleashed 107 points on a very good defensive club, the New Jersey Nets. Took a 2-1 series lead, and in game 4, the Pacers missed their opportunity to take control of the series. Vince Carter, who's had a great series with the exception of game 1, and the second half of game 3 was terrific. And of course, not having Peja Stojakovic has hurt the Pacers because Jim Spanarkel, in each of the games that they have lost, Peja has not played.
Correct, and obviously with the Pacers from an offensive standpoint, they lose his ability to go around and obviously move around, shoot the long ball, do a little things off the dribble, and keep the active motion going on. And obviously with O'Neal on the floor, with Stojakovic on the floor, it's a different dimension that the Pacers have. So without him, O'Neal will get his touches. We'll see how he reacts. Will he be reactive quickly in the post and make something happen? And obviously, Marcus, we've touched on in terms of talking before the game, he's got to stay on the floor. The minutes, the fouls are so important for the Pacers, especially tonight.
Foul problems for O'Neal just about the entire series. In game 3, he was able to stay out of foul trouble, and he killed the Nets.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. I mean, when he gets his minutes, you're not going to stop him. You can slow him down a touch, but you know he's going to get his touches. He's going to get opportunities. The question becomes, when he's gotten those fouls, it throws his rhythm off totally, and we'll see if he can avoid that tonight. It should be very interesting from that component of the game.
So it'll be O'Neal against Jason Collins, and we are running tonight in this game 5, first round Eastern Conference series between the Nets and the Indiana Pacers, who also met in 2002 in a best-of-5. That was won by the Nets, but obviously that is past history. This is O'Neal taking on Collins after his own miss, and finally it is Vince Carter.
Nice job defensively there by Collins, because O'Neal caught it and went quickly.
Here is Carter shooting from the outside. Christich going for the miss, and we have a foul. Eddie Rush making the call out there along with Monty McCutcheon and Mike Callahan. Austin Crozier, the personal, his first. Now, Crozier, Danny Granger, both starting, but obviously Rick Carlisle would rather have them coming off the bench.
Absolutely, and it throws off the entire rhythm for Rick Carlisle from the bench, from the substitution pattern, from the starters. And obviously he has to expect one of them, Granger or Crozier, to have a big night, because they need that type of scoring from one of them.
That said, what substitution pattern? It's been this way for him the whole season.
That's
just
true.
about.
Good point. Good point. Pacers in a little 2-3 look right now defensively.
Jefferson piercing in. That's Collins. And he got it. They get limited offense from him, but what little offense they get, he can hit that shot.
Absolutely. The 15 to 17-foot, 18-foot jumper is what Collins does, and you notice he doesn't get off the floor a whole lot. He's been bothered by the knees and the legs with some minor but nagging injuries.
Collins did have knee surgery last summer. Played most of the season for the Nets. This is Anthony Johnson, and Johnson deposits to his 9th year in the league, and he is the former backup to Jason Kidd.
Yeah, and with that you get the term and serviceable type of guard, but he's more than serviceable. He's been a terrific guard for the Pacers and has given Jason Kidd a couple of fits throughout this series.
In fact, he has been the starter for the Pacers for most of the regular season as the Nets cough it up. And ironically, they've done a good job of taking care of the ball through the series, and Granger is able to finish.
A nice run out by Granger just then, and the release by Jackson, allowing Granger to get to a spot on the floor.
Nice setup. Christich finishes inside, and both coaches before the game said Nenad Christich getting confidence because the veterans like Carter are looking for him.
Absolutely. It was interesting how Lawrence Frank said that exact thing, and his confidence has grown, and Rick Carlisle, the other end, said the same thing, you know, basically saying we have to worry about him because of that.
O'Neal and Collins on him. Kidd flirting with a double. And that is Carter.
Good run out by Jefferson, too, down the left side.
Richard Jefferson really has had a very consistent series, I think.
Yeah, and the thing about him is that he's got to get a little bit more selfish, I think. He plays the part very well, but I think you'll see him tonight in Game 5 here really going after things.
There you see they try to set O'Neal up early. That is Granger, the rookie out of New Mexico, missing badly. Jefferson headlong into Crozier. It'll be an offensive foul, Richard Jefferson.
And you may have noticed there, Mark, the fact that Jefferson didn't really catch that on a clean catch. And what happens there when he comes down, you see he bobbles just a second, and that causes him to lose balance, and Crozier's just waiting for him. So Jefferson would have been better served just catching, gathering, and stopping. But to the point of him trying to attack, he wants to really attack the basket more and more.
So the Nets 2 turnovers already. There's Carter, and he forces one on the Pacers. So the Nets taking care of the ball. They have the best per game figure in the playoffs, and they are forcing 18 turnovers. That's the best per game figure in the playoffs. Kristich, we mentioned his rise since the All-Star break and into the playoffs. Jefferson scrambling for the loose ball.
They have called a timeout.
Yep, called by the Nets.
Every single possession is going to make something happen unless one team establishes themselves early on. So that's why Lawrence Frank does not mind getting that timeout right now, just to regroup a little bit. It's not his first choice. And once again, Kristich going through that time and losing the basketball, creating that opportunity for the Pacers.
And clearly for New Jersey, defense has been a key here. I mean, in the 2 New Jersey wins, the Pacers scored just 75 and 88. And in the 2 Indiana wins, the Pacers have scored 90 and 107 points. Hey fans, want to own tonight's game? Download all the NBA playoff games at video.google.com. Indiana opens the game 2 of 5. The Nets 3 of 4. And here are the Nets now out of the 22nd timeout.
And we'll see as this develops in the first quarter whether the Nets use both sides of the floor.
Carter for 3, and Lawrence Frank cautioning us and ostensibly his team before the game, don't take the outside shots, just take it to the rim.
And also he used that word settle. And there's a good example of the Pacers not settling for the first look. Granger that time away from O'Neal, across court path. The contrast down the other end, how Carter just fired away.
Crozier can be no match here for Kristich inside.
Especially with Kristich, the way he's developed, Mark, from the course. We talked about his shooting from the 17-foot range thereabouts, but his footwork underneath has just gotten better and better to allow him to get easy touches.
Kristich 2 of 2 for 4. Second-year player out of Serbia and Montenegro. O'Neal gives it a whirl on Collins, rimmed it.
Boy, it's simple defense, but Collins has it right now. He's got him floating away from the basket. It's exactly where you want him, O'Neal.
Who is 0 for 3 to start this game. You mentioned all the Pacer injuries. How important it is for O'Neal to get locked and loaded as Collins misses the jumper, and Danny Granger, 6'9", 230, plays both forward spots. The rookie has done a solid job. Only through the regular season, but into the playoffs as well.
Gives him a lot of energy, too. There's a quick kick.
And there's Jefferson, who runs the floor as well as anybody, and unfinished business for him.
Yeah, Granger a factor defensively just then. Pretty good effort and energy there at the defensive end.
O'Neal now the other side of the floor on Collins. Strong move by Jermaine O'Neal, and he will get to the line. Jason Collins, the personal.
O'Neal gets to the line for about 7 free throw attempts a game, but watch, you think he's going to go right. He gives a little bit of a bait fake there, and Collins slid towards the foul line. Once a player with the ball sees a guy lean one way, that's exactly what he's trying to do. And obviously O'Neal is just way too talented down below to give him any type of advantage.
Among the most talented low-post players, certainly in the NBA today.
Yeah, I mean, we had a chance to speak with Lawrence Frank beforehand, and he really, I thought, hammered that point home pretty well in terms of guys like Kevin Garnett. He put in the same sentence with him in terms of the way O'Neal is one of the most talented guys in the NBA at the post. And, you know, he gets it going. He's a tough out. There's no question about it. He's right up there.
Well, let's see. In Game 3, stayed out of foul trouble, 37 points.
That works.
Yep.
That works.
It was a playoff career high for him.
Although if you or I were in the post tonight against Lawrence Frank, he'd be saying we were the best players. You know, that little bit of coach talk speak, but still, he's pretty good down there.
Vince Carter, his first field goal and a foul. Carter averaging just over 29 a game in the playoffs. About 5 points per game better than his regular season average, and he is fouled by Granger.
And you take a look at Vince catching the ball in striking area, and then a little bit of the float, the ability to stay off the floor and still get his shot off and concentrate. So I would think Lawrence Frank likes that opportunity. I think he also would like to see Vince take his shoulders and throw them to the basket rather than float, also to get to the line even more.
Carter, 29 years old, his 8th year in the league. We have O'Neal planted on Collins, and Steven Jackson unfurling a three, and down it goes for him. Steven Jackson at the other end, it is Carter, and Jackson chasing Vince Carter. Fouls him, so the release by Carter after the shot there by Jackson.
And Kidd getting it out very quickly. Keep in mind, Jackson just buried that shot, and Kidd just steps out and fires down the floor. But watch Carter at the end of this play, Mark. Watch what he does. He stops his body right here. He stops, goes up straight instead of floating towards the basket, so he can kind of block out the defender at the same time and allow himself to catch it first. Like to see some wide receivers do that in football, huh?
Yes.
Use the body, use the hands, but position yourself before the ball gets there.
Like what Vince had to say a couple of days ago. He said they brought me here not to win regular season games, but to win playoff games, and he's into it right now.
And he has helped them win a couple of regular season games this year, too. We'll see what he does.
Season. Yeah. Tremendous season.
There were nights where he was just flat out unstoppable. I mean, the likes of Kobe Bryant this year when he went for the big numbers. Vince had them not quite the same scoring numbers.
And of course, last year, Carter really struggled in the playoffs against the Miami Heat in a first-round playoff elimination for the Nets. As O'Neal finally gets on track, his first points of the game. He leads the Pacers in playoff scoring, averaging 21.5.
That's a plus if you can get him to go 5 and change without a bucket.
Crozier again dealing with a 7-footer Christix. That is Carter throwing up a prayer, and it's answered.
And did you notice how he threw his body towards the basket, though? Now, that wasn't Vince Carter really vintage because he didn't get his balance and his legs underneath him. But I like the fact that his shoulders were going towards the hoop. He's going to get the call sooner or later.
7 and 4 boards for him in a quarter that is halfway done. O'Neal, gorgeous move on Collins, but unfinished business for him. And O'Neal opens the game. A game they sorely need him. 1 for 5 as Jefferson strokes 2 at the other end.
And O'Neal on the way down after that shot did give one of the officials a quick glance, and that's been a storyline here, the fact that he doesn't think that he's been getting enough calls. So we'll see how that progresses.
Well, he was fined $18,000 earlier in this series for mouthing off to the officials. Right now, the Nets with the early advantage just past the halfway point of the first quarter.
Producing the hands-free NBA. Ready for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
An early struggle for Jermaine O'Neal, hitting only one of his first 5 from the floor.
And Mark, we've talked a little bit about Vince Carter throwing his shoulders towards the basket. Watch how O'Neal shoots it here. Where are his shoulders going? First one away. He gets the same positioning. And where is he going again? Collins has it going away, which is a much more difficult shot. Here he's going back towards the basket a little bit, but where do his shoulders go again? They go away for the 3rd time. So let's see if he makes the adjustment and starts putting his body towards the rim, because they need him getting to the line to create some fouling opportunities against the Nets and scoring some buckets.
Now I'm thinking at this point with O'Neal starting so slowly, Steven Jackson's got to get his game going.
Yeah, and you know, what'll happen is, well, there's Jefferson looking. They'll let him go one-on-one in the post.
Good hard move that time by O'Neal on Collins, his 2nd field goal for 4.
And that's a good decision by Rick Carlisle from the Pacers bench just there after a break. Get my big guy involved in a spot that's comfortable.
Lonnie McCutcheon with a whistle.
33,
Danny Granger the personal foul, and for the rookie, forced into a starting role, his 2nd. That'll force Rick Carlisle's hand. He brings in the athletic Fred Jones, who's 6'4", 220, his 4th year out of Oregon. But you lose some significant height there in the exchange for Granger at 6'9" and Jones at 6'4". Christich getting inside, going for the miss Collins. And with that, we have the loose ball foul called on the power forward for the Nets, Jason Collins. That'll be his 2nd personal, and Collins not a guy who's stingy with his fouls. He uses them.
Oh, absolutely. He gets his money's worth, that's for sure.
Clifford Robinson, the 39-year-old 17-year veteran. is in for the first time. He has done a nice defensive job on O'Neal in this series as well. There's a lot of smarts to the floor for the Nets. That's Crozier. He could do that, though he rims the three. Historically a good three-point shooter, and in these playoffs at 42%. That's Robinson for three. And it will go back to the Indiana Pacers.
And that's something that Robinson will do at the other end also. Maybe a little Cole sitting there for what, about 7 minutes of game action or so, coming off the bench. Having your first shot to be a three is difficult.
He is 16th in NBA history, regular season action in three-pointers made. Now he's got to deal with O'Neal at the other end. 4 to shoot for the Pacers. Johnson, good defense on him by Jefferson. And Robinson captures it for New Jersey. That's by 4 and by as many as 6. Again, Kristich bangs away with Crozier.
Good job defensively so far.
A smart play by Carter to get it back to him.
Yeah, it really was. It's a reload to the post. Kristich recognized also it's smart for Carter to go the second time and also to come out with it.
That time Carter looking to front Steven Jackson, who got the layup. The second field goal, he's got 5. Jackson averaging 14.5 for the playoffs, 16 during the regular season.
Wow. Not clean here.
On the scramble, a loose ball foul. A frustrated Anthony Johnson called for the personal, his first.
Yeah, we take a look at Kristich loading up down deep. Crozier does what you mentioned, Marcus. Great job defensively. And what does he do? Smart enough to kick it out, and Carter goes right back to him because then Crozier releases. A defensive player will then stand up straight and says, hey, I got the ball out of my guy's hands. I can relax a little bit. Before he knows it's right back at Kristich, and he's making a quick move.
You know, talking about Kristich, his second year in the league, it's one thing to raise your game. It's another thing to hit big shots at the end of a game, and he did that in Game 4, their win at Indiana.
Yeah, they'll actually run plays, the Nets will, for him. Because when you think about it, if you're scouting the Nets and you don't know a whole lot about them, but the Pacers obviously do, you have to contend with Kidd and Carter and Jefferson, and then all of a sudden, well, who else is going to be left? Kristich is going to be wide open somewhere with the double teams they'll create. Oh, nice little chest-to-chest bump right there, maybe head-to-head also with O'Neal and Robinson.
And the foul on Clifford. That'll be his first coming off the bench.
Watch Clifford Robinson anticipate where he's going. You think he doesn't know what play's being run right there? You just can't do that though, Cliff.
Hey, good use of a foul here in the first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
That's Jones jacking a 3, and down it goes for Fred Jones, who has shot well from beyond the arc of the playoffs at 42%.
You know, he's a catch and drive, a catch and shoot type player, but I think there's a lot of upside for him in his career.
A restricted free agent, by the way, at the end of this season. Jason Kidd, a guy averaging under 9 and shooting under 30% for this playoff series.
Yeah, I don't think statistically, though, you can measure what he brings to the table. He's got a post-up problem right here, though.
Indeed, Steven Jackson clearly with an advantage here of about 4 inches. Jackson has his way his third field goal. He has 7 now to pace Indiana. Both teams shooting well. The Nets at 60%. And the Pacers right now a tick under 53%. Just over 2.5 to go here in this Game 5 first quarter. The Nets, their lead is down to 2.
In an active life, athletes
per game dramatically down compared to when he was scoring, what was that, 81-ish points a game when he was shooting about 35 times per night. But what he's done is he's basically brought back his game, saving himself at the end of games. That's obviously most important, but getting guys more involved and showing confidence in his teammates.
Nets showing confidence in each other in this game.
Yeah, shooting the basketball, 9 field goals with 9 assists, so distributing it.
Here they are out of the timeout. Vince Carter, beautifully done with the left hand. Carter, his third field goal, he's got 9, so the Nets now at 62.5%.
Exactly what Lawrence Frank, coach of the Nets, wants him doing, Carter. Extending and going towards the basket.
Jackson thinking three. And we have a foul.
And that's where you get a rotation with Kristich out front. The big guy goes out, the taller guy. You neutralize the size advantage by bringing him away from the floor, and Jackson goes by him as Kidd exits for a little break.
He goes with 5 assists, and his understudy, Jacques Vaughn, who's done well, very consistent this year. His backup point is 9th year in the league out of Kansas.
Gives him great energy defensively.
As the coaches like to say, he'll get up under your chin. Scoreboard for Johnson, fresh 24 for the Pacers. Steven Jackson missing a 3, and Carter's been a rebounding fiend here the first quarter. That's 5 caroms for him. Again, they got a Kristich here against the 6'9 Crozier.
They're going to make Vaughn take a shot or two.
Carter, hard to the floor, and the offensive foul, Vince Carter.
Vince turns to the officials and says he moved under me. The problem with it, though, is we'll take a look if they are moving. Does anybody establish? I think Vince has a point right there. You see O'Neal sliding a little bit, did not establish himself. Got outside the semicircle, so he was legal from that positioning, but Vince has a point.
Lonnie McCutcheon making the call. Searching out O'Neal. Robinson, right around Robinson goes O'Neal, and Kristich there to cover up.
And good help there by Kristich double teaming, and Robinson forcing O'Neal out onto the floor.
That's not an especially good shot blocking team, but Kristich, who cans 2 more, their leading shot blocker during the regular season as well as the playoffs. He is 4 of 5 for 9 in the first quarter as Vaughn fouls Johnson. That'll put New Jersey in the penalty.
No, Jacques Vaughn, this is what he does. He tries to anticipate defensively. He trips up Anthony Johnson. Johnson will head to the line for a pair.
So Jacques Vaughn, the personal foul. And Anthony Johnson going to the line. Only the 3rd and 4th free throws for the Pacers here in the first quarter. The other 2 from O'Neal, and he missed both. Wednesday night on TNT is a special playoff doubleheader beginning at 6 o'clock in Game 1. The Bucks and Pistons play Game 5. Detroit up 3-1, followed by Game 5 between the Wizards and Cavaliers, and that series tied at 2. A special start time, 6 o'clock on Wednesday on TNT.
Pistons reawakening a little bit, huh? Showing them the Bucks who's boss and whether the Pistons are going to come back and get themselves together. I don't think anybody expected them to run through undefeated any team this year because of a little bit of parity settling in this season, I think, more than most years in the NBA.
They leave Vaughn open, and he makes him pay. Jacques Vaughn hits it, and you know what? He's shooting 50% for the postseason.
Well, and you know, the other part of that, too, is that he's taking the shot with confidence. And one of the games, I think it was the 3rd, he started 0 for 3, but then came right back and started going after people shooting the ball.
Nets now their largest lead at 7. That's Vaughn dogging Johnson, who took him down to the weight room and had his way. Anthony Johnson does have about a 2-inch advantage on Vaughn.
And the 2 inches becomes more when you understand how to position your body also at the same time on the blocks.
Had a 7-second difference here between the clocks as Jefferson went east and the pass went west. And now the Pacers holding for 1.
Up here in northern New Jersey, that means one person went to Rutherford, my hometown, and one person went to Secaucus.
Johnson trying to bust a move on Vaughn, and he gets it done. So Anthony Johnson, a source of scoring for the Pacers here in the final moments of the first. Vaughn's heave is blocked, and that will do it. So a late little mini run by the Pacers in a quarter where Indiana allows New Jersey to shoot over 63%. And the Nets were averaging only 92.5 for the series, post 28 points in the first quarter to lead by 3, 28-25. You're watching the 2006 NBA playoffs in high definition right here on NBA TV. New Jersey had its largest lead at 7 towards the end of the first quarter, but Anthony Johnson scores the last 4 of the quarter.
And watch how Jacques Vaughn's 2 inches becomes 4. When he positions him and gets Jacques Vaughn down lower and then explodes into his jump, a 2-inch height advantage turns into a 4 or 5 because of positioning at the offensive end. And he'll do it here again a little bit. He gets Jacques Vaughn back off his balance. He bends his knees again, then you explode. It adds to the differential in terms of size and height.
How often does Anthony Johnson have a chance to post up?
Go for it. Whenever you get the chance, go for it.
Oh, and Jim Spinarkle marks him off tonight on NBA TV. Second quarter underway in this Game 5. A pivotal Game 5 in this first-round series, which is locked at 2. Richard Jefferson, very steady through this playoff series, 3 of 4. He has 6. Sharunas Jasikevičius onto the floor for the first time for the Pacers. Robinson romping down the floor, and there's Carter running with him to follow up. Vince with 7 boards already in the game.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. Want him on the glass, and they're picking up a little bit with Jackson and Jasikevičius in the backcourt. A little bit of Jones. They feel that the Pacers don't handle as cleanly with these guys on the floor.
Jasikevičius, a rookie though at 29. A lot of experience in Europe in the backcourt with Jones. As the Pacers turn it over, that's been an epidemic for them this series. Jefferson runs it up and in spite of the fact that the ball was blocked.
Yeah, and the fact that Jefferson also understanding that he did not have the greatest of position, but then that one cross step to the middle of the lane opens up an extra seam and allows him to deliver the goods.
And so the Nets now, with an early second quarter push, sprint to their largest lead at 9 thanks to some turnovers. That's been a problem for the Pacers in this series. They had only one in the first quarter, but a few of them here in the second.
And this is where Rick Carlisle knows that they have to be very careful. They turn the ball over. That allows the Nets to turn more into a transition team, kind of like when they used to have Kenyon Martin and Kerry Kittles. They go up and down a little bit more in years past than they do right now.
Granger, that's for 3. So it's Jacques Vaughn along with Vince Carter. Lamont Murray into the game for the first time, the 11-year veteran along. Nenad Kristic and this fella Clifford Robinson up front for the Nets. An activity off the ball and a foul here on Fred Jones of the Pacers. Jones is in the backcourt right now with Sharunas Jasikevičius. Jasikevičius, of course, to school at the University of Maryland. Granger, O'Neal, and Anthony Johnson completing the 5 for the Pacers. Carter is tracking Jones. Oh, offensive foul, Fred Jones.
Yeah, Rick Carlisle not happy with that call. You know, the question becomes whether he had position and Carter running alongside of him. Let's see if that left arm does some damage. I think that's a part damage and part
Emmy worthy.
Exactly. Thank you very much for completing that.
Oh, what a pass inside.
So is that.
Carter able to finish it. Yeah, some award somewhere. Clifford Robinson, 3 dimes or assists here in the first half. Nets by 11. O'Neal in a real war with Robinson, who's got him fronted. Now the lob from the high-low and a foul. It's Carter guilty of the personal. Vince his second. Nets right now in the midst of an 8-0 spurt. Thanks largely to Vince.
Yeah, that's why we're going to see Vince go with those 2 fouls. A good opportunity for Lawrence Frank to get him out of there for probably 3 or 4 minutes, put Jason Kidd back on. Well, you're right. You touched on that Robinson and O'Neal battle. That's starting to really turn into a good one. The post. Here it comes again.
Oh, Robinson. That's a pretty play.
Yep, you could hear it. You could hear the slap, hand on leather.
And this is why Clifford Robinson has lasted so long in the league, his ability to play defense.
And watch the right hand of Robinson. Bang. Now, O'Neal's going to try to bait it a little bit, thinking that he was slapped on the hand, but that's a good defensive play.
4 to shoot here for the Pacers. Jasikevičius in rhythm for 2.
A little breakdown by the Nets just then. Kristic found himself looking out to the corner. Jasikevičius just buried that 15-footer.
Adjusting to life of the NBA playoffs, it's Jasikevičius as O'Neal has Kristich in denial. Johnson for a three, and down it goes for Anthony Johnson. He's their leading scorer with 10.
And a terrific read just then by Johnson. Also a 3-on-3 break. Lawrence Frank going to talk things over, because Lawrence, I think, was thinking that might be this last 2 minutes a good opportunity to extend that lead. But the Pacers keep coming back. They're not letting up, even though they're under man.
And specifically, it has been Anthony Johnson, as defensively, O'Neal D's it up on Kristich. And then at the other end, Johnson is able to hit the three. You're watching the 2006 NBA playoffs in high definition on NBA TV. Game 5, first round. Anthony Johnson has answered the Nets a couple of times at the end of the first, and here in the second, when the Nets had threatened to put some significant distance between themselves. And you can see Johnson playing the leadership role now, exhorting his teammates out of the timeout. The ball belonging to the Nets.
Robinson didn't expect that pass, it looked like, from Vaughn after a timeout, which is really a rarity for the Nets. They usually come out and are pretty productive after timeouts.
New Jersey, their 6th turnover, 4 for the Pacers. The Nets averaging fewer than 10 per game in this series. O'Neal meets resistance down low. Murray and Robinson closing on him.
Second time O'Neal has lost himself in terms of where he is on the floor.
Here the Nets shooting a lusty 64%. Jefferson taking all comers. His own miss. 3 times for Jefferson. And a couple of tips for Murray as the Nets continue to dominate the glass. Would you believe an 18-6 rebounding advantage for New Jersey in this game?
Yeah, they just picked up a couple right there. Unfortunate for Jefferson. Nice attack against O'Neal. Can't get the first to go down. You think he's going to deliver the second. Now the third. Lamont Murray gets a tip at it.
You know what? That took about 10 points off their shooting percentage.
Here we go.
Yep. Jefferson slams for 2.
Yeah, once they get that run down, Kidd really receptive to giving the ball up in a hurry, and Jefferson just understands it's going to be like a magnet getting to his hands if Kidd has it.
It's like the old Nets here in the first half.
It sure does. That's why the Pacers do not want to take quick shots or turnovers like this.
Granger off the tip ball. Jefferson going for that miss, as well as Murray. And the foul coming up on Lamont Murray.
Yeah, this one goes down, I think, after a couple of near misses or near makes, and bang, Jefferson finishing it off.
12-5 advantage, fast break points for New Jersey. Here's Jones. Jones right there brought his defender with him.
Yeah, exactly. You notice that he didn't reload the post also, like the Nets did with Kristich.
Robinson tees up a 3, and down it goes for Clifford Robinson. More than 19,000 points in his career. That puts him 35th on the regular season list, and more than 1,200 threes. That puts him 16th on the regular season list coming in. He makes those 3 count here in this game 5. The Nets now, with the 11-point spread, it matches their largest lead. It's New Jersey 41 and the Pacers 30. You're watching the 2006 NBA playoffs in high definition on NBA TV. So a 20-second timeout called by the Indiana Pacers here, with the Nets leading by 11 at 41-30. Clifford Robinson, guy's played in the NBA for 17 years, has missed the playoffs only twice in that career.
And that's why you want him taking shots like he just did, coming down on the delayed break, looking for a 3, and the Nets know that he can hit that shot, and it's really a plus, especially in big games, if they can get Robinson knocking that long shot down.
This is the 134th playoff game of his career, Clifford Robinson. Here the Pacers after that badly needed timeout. Jasikevicius getting open and drilling it. Jasikevicius, his point production is playing time down for the regular season. He averaged 7 in 21 minutes in the regular season. 3 a game in 9 minutes. He is 2 of 2 here, however, for 4. Jefferson open. There's Jason Kidd, historically a terrific rebounder for a point guard, as the Nets continue to dominate the glass.
Boy, that's one Clifford Robinson would like to have back. Very infrequently do you see him miss that one when he's wide open, has a little time to shoot the ball.
He's shooting 1 for 4, but he's made his presence felt, rest assured.
Here's a good matchup with Johnson and Kidd.
Johnson taking Kidd. Of course, the two used to go out and practice here in New Jersey, and there is Granger to turn garbage into gold.
Granger doing a good job on that glass because he's active away from the ball and he keeps himself moving to position himself for offensive rebounds.
Granger now with 6, averaging 7 in the playoffs. The second quarter halfway through. New Jersey playing the front runners. They're up 7. Jason Kidd missing inside with the left hand. Only the second shot he's taken.
Comes Granger on the left side. Good run.
That's Johnson running the floor. Unfinished business for him. He'd like to have that back.
Yeah, that was because that seam opened up just then because of Granger, who really wasn't in the play, but he was the reason that it opened up so wide. Coming down the floor, you'll see Granger getting away really on the right side. He's out of there. He comes into the picture then, but basically because he ran strongly down the left side of the floor, that opened up the middle of the floor. There's a great look at it. And just missing the opportunity, Johnson, but well-run fast break.
Personal foul there was on Jason Kidd. His first, the third on the Nets team. Play Drive to the Finals presented by Autotrader.com. You could win $25,000 towards a new car. Play now at NBA.com or AOL.com/NBA. Shot going out. Vince Carter and his 13 points, 8 boards, and 5 assists back into the game. He was the man been for the Pacers in the first half. Got Anthony Johnson with 12 points. He's averaging 16.5 in this playoff series. That's Murray. That's what he does best, though missing the 3.
Now it'll be interesting to see. I think one of the key things going down the stretch here in the first half, will Vince Carter stay away from his 3rd foul? He has 2 right now. Oh, he's all over the place, isn't he?
Got a career-high 6 steals earlier in this series. He pilfers one there for Indiana's 5th turnover, then the healthy 3. So the Nets have missed their last 5 and are suddenly shooting below 50%, though Kidd absorbing the contact with the offensive foul, Jermaine O'Neal.
Well, you'll see Jermaine O'Neal kind of roadblock Jason Kidd. Now you can hit him once, but then you can't keep moving and like an offensive guard getting ready to pull. Yeah, exactly. You got to stop at some point.
You know, O'Neal is averaging nearly 5 turnovers a game in this series, and one of the reasons so many offensive fouls on him. It's Carter forcing the issue, and he got it done. So Vince Carter picking up where he left off, 15 points. That foul on O'Neal, by the way, was only his first, so that is of significance because you've been mentioning the overall theme concerning O'Neal and his problem with foul difficulty in this series. Johnson gets some space, and Collins, who is back in there, rebounds for New Jersey.
This is an oiled machine.
Jefferson had it stripped, got it back. Plenty of time here for the Nets, and Jefferson wisely backs it out. Murray for 3. Under 4 minutes now before the break. O'Neal taking Collins, and O'Neal got it done. His 3rd field goal in 9 tries.
Remember, Mark, in that first quarter we talked about, we showed 4 plays in a row where O'Neal on the replays was drifting away from the basket. Notice the difference just then and the results when he goes towards the basket. Oh, not going to get away with that one, I don't think.
Offensive foul on Collins, and for Jason Collins, that'll be personal number 3.
Well, Collins really doesn't get the ball down there that often for Lawrence Frank's team, and they're trying to power his way through O'Neal. Not a bad thought maybe to get an extra foul on O'Neal, but credit defensively. Lawrence Frank knows it wasn't arguing that O'Neal had really positioned himself well.
And so Collins will exit with the 3 personal fouls. Kristich is in for him. Just under 3.5 now remaining before halftime. O'Neal planted on Kristich.
Good anticipation by Kristich just then.
So Jackson tees up a 3, and Kristich has the rebound.
Jefferson continues to run out for the Nets. He's bringing people with him, too.
Carter with double vision, but he got it done off the double team.
Boy, looking to make things happen. Vince Carter continues to impress, and really his shot selection terrific. 17 points of 7 of 10 from the floor.
8 boards and 5 assists, don't forget.
Yep, not a bad first half.
It's not a bad game.
Yeah, exactly.
Fred Jones rattles it home. Jones' second field goal. He's got 5, averaging 8 for this playoff series.
I think a couple of years down the road, you're going to see him be averaging quite a bit for whatever team he's with.
A restricted free agent after this season. Crozier back into the game, the loose ball. Jailbreak for the Pacers as Jackson slams for 2. And Indiana piecing together a run now. They're down 7. Jackson with 9 here in the first half.
And that's where Vince Carter held on to it just a touch too long.
They get a 12-4 Indiana burst. With under 2 to play before halftime. Anthony Johnson hoping for the steal. He found Richard Jefferson. That was one the Pacers had to give here in the final 2-minute period. Final 2 minutes of this second quarter of this game 5. The winner goes up 3 games to 2. You're watching the 2006 NBA playoffs in high definition on NBA TV.
Dave.
Go to our website and start your program today.
Wednesday night on TNT, it's a special playoff doubleheader beginning at 6 o'clock. Game 1, the Bucks and Pistons play Game 5. Detroit's up 3-1, followed by Game 5 between the Wizards and Cavaliers, and that series is tied at 2. It's a special start time, 6 p.m. on Wednesday on TNT. Jason Kidd, you know, much has been said in New Jersey about the way Richard Jefferson adjusted his game for Vince Carter, but I think Jason Kidd has moved aside for Vince as well, don't you?
Yeah, and I think both of them, you have to give credit to both of them because they recognize just what Vince Carter means to this team and franchise in terms of his ability to go upstairs. They were looking for a lob just then for him.
Jefferson missing the 3. Nets continue to rule the glass as O'Neal swiped it away. Kristich claiming he was fouled, and the whistles there silent. I'd explain the fact that Jermaine O'Neal has only 1 rebound and his team is getting torched off the glass.
Yeah, down 24-12, a double. And O'Neal just not really a factor because the Nets are pretty much getting a body on him at the defensive end of the floor.
Jefferson goes romping in and slams for 2 of his 12.
Well, that's where Jefferson is one of these guys with the Nets that I think they still have to continue to give him the ball and find ways to give it to him because he is so dangerous.
O'Neal this time for the outside. He's been inside most of this first half. Carter thinking 3 and on the drive. He's fouled by Stephen Jackson. It's 2 on Jackson. Pacers now in the penalty.
The ball movement and away from the ball also. Jefferson continues to work to make things happen in a terrific finish. You start to add up the number of field goals that the Nets have at, 21 right now with 20 assists. I mean, that's just unbelievable in terms of the distribution of the basketball.
Vince Carter. Okay, 1 more at the line. He has 4 of the Nets' 6 free throw attempts here in the first half. He has had virtually a perfect opening half. 19 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals.
And Nets down the stretch here have a foul to give.
Ball was kicked by Kidd, leaving Indiana with 10 to shoot. And 55.1 to go here in the first half. Twice the Pacers have led the series. Rick Carlisle's team could have gone up 3-1 and they can what-if themselves all they want. That's past history now. They got to win at least one game here. Jackson with about an inch on Jefferson takes him downstairs, and Steven Jackson now into double figures with 11.
And that's what Rick Carlisle is hoping for his Pacers. I know it's only a minute, but this last minute he's hoping for that bucket, a stop, and maybe another when they go in with a little bit of a mental boost.
Nets here trying to work 2 possessions for 1. They hope for a final look here. By the way, they do have a foul to give. But if you give it here, then you negate the possibility of having that final possession, right?
Exactly. The differential being about 5 seconds or so.
Kidd glued off the ball to Johnson. There's Johnson. He meets up with Kristich, and O'Neal follows the play.
That could have been an opportunity there, though, Mark, for a grab by Kidd, possibly. I mean, it's really, the thought process is so bang.
You got to think quick. Shot clock is unplugged. Jefferson, could he get it off? He does not. Well, how about the Indiana Pacers? The way the New Jersey Nets started this game, their shooting percentage through a good part of the first half was over 60%. Jermaine O'Neal, not the best first half he has had in his career. And they were killed off the glass. We're talking about the Pacers. Yet through all of that, New Jersey's lead, as large as 11, is only 3 at halftime. 49-46. In fact, the Pacers finished that second quarter on a 16-8 run. So with the score, the Nets 49 and the Pacers 46. Let's go to the NBA TV studios. The Toyota halftime report with Deb Kaufman and Gail Goodrich. Before we start the third quarter tonight, we take you back to the tail end of the first half, where Lawrence Frank was talking with his team about allowing the Pacers to stay in the game by the way his team, meaning the Nets, were playing.
But we're bailing them out by making really poor decisions. Take your time, move the ball, drive the gaps, make the extra pass. Okay? Coming back against man or zone.
So Lawrence Frank essentially saying to his team, hey, look, forget the jump shots, penetrate, get into the lane, do what we do best.
Absolutely, and the concept goes back to not settling for the first look. Even though it may be an open look and an extended look, let's test the waters and try to get the ball down deep like they did here.
Vince Carter picking up where he left off in the first half. 21 points now in the game, averaging just over 29 for the playoffs. So the third quarter underway with Jim Spinarco. Marks him off tonight here on NBA TV. The winner goes up 3-2 in this best-of-7 first round NBA playoff series. O'Neal, they go to him. They did so early and often, but he has been unsuccessful, more than successful, just 4 of 12 as Carter buries the healthy 3. 24 in the game for him.
And as he buries the 3, O'Neal on the way down the floor, yapping again at the officials. He has to get back into the play.
O'Neal has gone to the line only twice in the game.
Now you want to go back to him where he believes that he didn't get the call and make the officials call one for him.
Rozier trying to make the 7-footer Kristich work. Jefferson taking all comers, and he has his way. I suspect the early third quarter timeout coming from Rick Carlisle now, as the early 7-0 burst by New Jersey puts them up 10. 56-46 New Jersey. You're watching the 2006 NBA playoffs at high definition on NBA TV.
Ringtone.
The New Jersey Nets emerging out of their timeout huddle, though the timeout called by the Pacers, and just to the left of the New Jersey bench would be Jay-Z and Beyonce. And I don't have to tell you who's who.
Very good point. And that's Tim Walsh, trainer, right next to him.
And the rest of the New Jersey Nets. Pacers have it out of the timeout. They run Anthony Johnson, along with Steven Jackson, Danny Granger, Jermaine O'Neal, and Austin Crozier up front. Personal foul here, Richard Jefferson. It'll be his second, just the first on the team. Pacers fighting uphill, of course. Keep in mind in that game 4, they trailed by as many as 19. That was after 3. Made a furious rally in that game. Got it to within 5, but could get no closer. The Nets prevailed in that critical game 4. Game 4 they had to win. 2 to shoot here for Jackson, who is denied inside. A fresh 24 for Indiana.
You got O'Neal versus Carter. You have to get him the ball.
Collins calling him off, and now he's got O'Neal, but free is Jackson for 3. Jackson the floorboard. Crozier, that's for 3, and he finally connects. He's been a missing person.
He really has been, and you know, the opportunity to finally get on the scoreboard for him from long range for the 3. But the Nets making some mistakes defensively, not blocking out. The Pacers just continue to hang around.
Pacers' first field goal of the quarter is coming up with the steal. Granger in jailbreak for the Pacers, and finishing the job, Anthony Johnson is leading them in scoring with 14. Now the other way, the Pacers late getting back defensively, and New Jersey able to take advantage. Vince Carter, 10 of 13 for his 26.
And the decisions have been just extraordinary for Vince Carter in terms of where he's been shooting the ball and his thought process.
Collins and O'Neal doing battle off the ball, and that matchup spotted by Ed Rush, and he calls the personal on Collins, and that'll be number 4 on him.
Well, here's the work by the Pacers coming down, get the ball to the middle, and it turns into a 3-on-1 break, and Johnson just finishes it off because Jason Kidd not being able to get back and stop that wave coming at him, and Collins will take a seat with his 4th foul, and Robinson comes in to try to give them a little defensive stop against O'Neal, plus some offensive scoring punch.
Ball tipped there by Carter and out of bounds, leaving Indiana with 7 to shoot. Immediately following this game, we'll bring you game 5. The Kings and the Spurs are locked up 2 games apiece. NBA TV brings you the 2006 playoffs in stunning high definition. O'Neal open, got it, so the pick and spot works perfectly as O'Neal drills it. The 3rd Pacer double figures with 10.
And the Pacers want to see that ball obviously go through the hoop with O'Neal shooting it, even if it's from outside, just to build a little confidence for him as this game progresses.
Carter off the ball, tracked by the rookie Granger. And Granger whistled for his 3rd personal foul. That'll be the first on the Pacers here. We are early in the 3rd. The Nets bursting out of the locker room, hitting their first 4 from the floor. Carter, the object of the Nets' affection, taking Granger again. Granger did not want to pick up his 4th foul, so a smart call there to get it to Vince, who missed only his 4th shot of the game.
Yeah, interesting enough, I thought I heard hand on glass just then, and Vince is holding his fingers. Maybe he hit the glass and did not come up with that hoop. Seems to be okay.
Yeah, the Nets, unlike the Pacers coming in, pretty much perfect health. Indiana up playing this game without Jeff Foster out with a back injury. Peja Stojakovic, knee problems since the early part of April, but really affecting him mostly here in the playoffs. While Tinsley, now really a good part of the regular season, continues to sit on the Indiana bench in street clothes as Granger drills the 3. And again, it's a 3-point game. Make it a 2-point game now, 58-56.
And Granger continues to grow as a player, as a young player in this NBA league, and really finding good spots on the floor and understanding their offense better and better.
Jefferson interrupted en route to the hoop. The late whistle and a foul.
I think that's on O'Neal because Jackson thought it initially was on him, Mark, but it was not. Jackson played this pretty well. You know, let's take a look at Carter go into the basket and see if he swipes the right hand against the glass. And maybe underneath the basket also with the rim. Let's take a look. We'll see. That's one of the problems I never had to worry about, Mark. Hitting the rim with my hand, so appears to be okay, though.
Indiana in the midst of a 10-2 run. That was their answer to the 7-0 spurt by Carter and the Nets to open up this second half.
Carter Granger pretty much looked like underneath the rim. Maybe a little bit of the metal up there, but I don't think it's going to stop him taking the next shot when he's open.
No. 1 of 2 for Jefferson. He's got 15 points. Combination of Carter and Jefferson with 41 of the Nets' 59. They combined for 50 in their Game 4 victory at Indiana.
Foul number 15, Vince Carter, his third, 13 foul.
Personal number 3 now on Vince Carter. So Carter with 3 and Collins on the bench with 4 for New Jersey.
Well, you take a look there, down deep. I mean, that's what's going to happen, I think, as this game progresses, Mark, is the fact that every cut is going to be a body bump, and the officials are going to have their work cut out for them because these guys are starting to really just slow one another down with the hands and the bodies.
Kidd flirting with a double. Robinson has O'Neal checked, but Jermaine drills the jumper, so O'Neal beginning to find the stroke. He's got a dozen.
Yeah, and I think if we could walk over and ask Rick Carlisle what his feeling is right now, looking at this with 7 minutes on the clock, 59-58, he's feeling pretty good that O'Neal's warming this baby up.
Kristich, all cotton for him. He's got the touch. He is the 3rd New Jersey net double figures. He's got 11. Indiana's last lead in this game was 6-4. And the Nets by as many as 11 a couple of times.
Game 5s are great, aren't they?
Oh, I'm telling you. O'Neal, a gorgeous move, and what a finish by Jermaine O'Neal. He's got it going on now here in the 3rd.
Boy, I didn't think he had enough length and size and step to get that far in that particular play. What a terrific finish.
Wait, he's 6'11", 260, remember that.
Yeah, but he was away. Oh.
And now the Pacers looking for their first lead since it was 6-4. Jackson romping in. Robinson, good defense on him.
Big numbers coming the other way.
O'Neal lying in the weeds. Jefferson lost it. And again, the Pacers look to go in front. Jackson for 3 in the lead.
We are going up and down.
Jefferson the other way. Oh, he took some punishment. And Richard Jefferson, welcome to the playoffs, by the way. He will go to the line for 2.
And hello once again to game number 5, because do not come in faint of heart is not going to work. Jefferson is not. He goes after it as well as anybody in this league. Crozier puts him right on his rump. Boy, the action wasn't pretty there in that last up and down, but players are starting to grouse a little bit right now, which is going to make this even more fun.
Jefferson getting a pair. Over on TNT, it's Game 5. The Heat and the Bulls, and the Heat back on their home floor in Game 5, leading by 9 in the first quarter.
How about the Bulls building a little bit of momentum, huh?
How about the Bulls?
Yeah, they felt pretty good, I think, with some of their game, the game down in Miami on the way back. They were probably thinking, hey, you know what, we're going home. Let's see if we can get a couple there and build more momentum. Maybe they have a little confidence going down to Miami.
Crozier for 3 in the lead. So 3 different times Indiana with an opportunity to go in front, but unable to get over the hump.
And for the most part, going long ball instead. Probably a better opportunity. A good decision by O'Neal to kick it to Crozier right there, and that's a shot they're happy with. And Rick Carlisle, once again, here's a guy who's been a candidate for Coach of the Year for the last 3 or 4 years, I think. You know, he just does a great job wherever he's been.
And he's done it patchwork style all season long.
Yep.
Kristich, nice 3rd banana. He's got 13, 6 of 9 from the floor. Exactly 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd. Jackson has Jefferson, Carter flirting with a double.
And he missed Crozier just then.
And Granger also open. Kidd, who already has 12 assists, gives it up. Robinson for 3.
Did you see the look on Clifford's face just then? He's like saying, how did I miss that?
Shooting just 1 of 5. Now he's going to deal with O'Neal, and boy, those two wrestling down low in the offensive foul, Jermaine O'Neal. So both of his personal fouls in this game have been offensive fouls.
Here he goes. Somebody should go over and kind of get in O'Neal's way right now to get him away from officials and the line of at least eyesight. Well, you know, if you're down on the blocks and you start jockeying for position, you better put a little, as you told it before, a little Emmy Award-winning acting on, and you'll get some calls. There's a guy who did maybe a touch of that just then, and oh, baby, the faces are telling it all, aren't they?
So are the lips, if you could read them.
Yeah, well, it's a family show, isn't it?
Just Indiana's first turnover of the third quarter. There's Kidd. He's taken only 3 shots. He's hit 2 of them.
Yeah, he's thrown up 12 assists, though, also, and that's the importance of what Jason Kidd brings to his team. The will to win, and then, obviously, the courage to take big shots.
A guy who does not have to score to take control of a game.
Right.
Again, Robinson, the tip away. What brilliant defense by Clifford Robinson as Kidd is hog-tied at the other end by Johnson. But that was all started by the defense of Clifford Robinson.
It sure was, but that's a great example, though, too, of what you were just touching on. The fact that Kidd can do so much. Here's the great steal, right? You get this. Now watch Kidd put this into a gear. There's nothing here that he's looking at. You see, he's looking, but then he says, it's my turn to force the action and push the ball down the floor and get his teammates revved up a notch.
Even if he has no intent on scoring.
Right, exactly.
You don't know that. As a defender, you don't know that.
Exactly, and it's just the mental edge that he brings and the competitive fire, and that's what makes him, that's the separator for Jason Kidd.
A personal on Johnson, his third, and Indiana now at the team foul limit. Under 4 to play in this third quarter. Kidd, tough shot.
Yeah, sure was. He had Christich, too. He doesn't miss people that often.
New Jersey's lead at 6, but tenuous with the way the Pacers have shown gumption here. Missing 3 regulars and making this very much of a game here in this game 5 is that time. Robinson called for the foul, just his second.
It took a little bit of a gamble just here. Watch the way he comes jumping over the top. And when you come from the high side down, watch his hand. When you come down, see how your arm flows right down. Even it looked as if he got the ball cleanly for a second there. But then he comes over the top, and that's an easy call for the officials.
That puts the Nets at the team foul limit. Johnson head down, gives it up. Crozier, hacked and foul. There'll be 2 at the line for Crozier.
Boy, did Johnson ever squeeze his way through there. A whole bunch of traffic to deal with. And Lawrence Frank, I think, is just thinking what you were saying before, Mark, the fact that this Pacer team is just kind of hanging around. They're showing some gumption, their guts. And they're down 6, a couple at the line, but really working at it still.
Of course, they've played most of this NBA regular season with adversity, injuries galore, including their best player, Jermaine O'Neal, on the shelf for a good part of the regular season. Now O'Neal gets a blow here as David Harrison, the second-year 7-footer of Colorado, comes in for him.
I think that's a pretty good timeout, pretty good substitution with O'Neal with 3 fouls, 3 1/4, 25 seconds left here. I think that makes a whole lot of sense the way this tempo has been set. You don't want to get him his 4th right now. If you can buy it 4th foul into the 4th quarter, I think psychologically that's great for the Pacers.
And the lead at 4, and that's manageable.
Right, exactly.
Carter, Granger trying to manage him. He comes down with a miss.
Yeah, the Pacers are starting to close a little bit better on the drives to the basket. The Nets are doing what they're supposed to do, but much better team defense and recognition by the Pacers.
You are down 4. Fred Jones into the game. It's a Granger 3.
We got numbers here if they hurry. Good Pacers comeback, though. Transition defense.
Granger catching up to Carter, but Vince gives it a whirl, and he'll continue that walk to the line. Fred Jones, the personal. And for Jones, his 3rd. That'll put the Pacers in the penalty. You're watching the 2006 NBA playoffs in high definition right here on NBA TV. Set up a freeway series with the Clippers.
There you go. Yeah, that'll be interesting, huh? If they'd ever.
Oh, yes.
Not so sure they want the Clips right now the way they're playing, too. A young team that's really matured.
But with both teams playing the same venue, I guess they're calling it the hallway series?
Very nice.
It's not me. It's a gentleman who whispered in my ear, thank you.
Thought you were going to coin that phrase too, so we could get a T-shirt or a hat or something going there.
Nah. Jermaine O'Neal sitting next to an injured Peja Stojakovic. 28 for Carter, a perfect 7 of 7 from the line.
Let's see if Rick Carlisle can, if his Pacers can continue to score, O'Neal will sit until that fourth quarter.
O'Neal does have 3 personals. Carter off the Jones miss. So Carter now 9 rebounds. And the Nets own the glass by 10.
It'll be interesting to see right now if the Nets score, whether O'Neal continues to sit. Rick Carlisle may have to go to him. Upstairs,
Jefferson, great diagnosis by Jones, who's a tremendous athlete.
he sure is, and he gets off the floor too.
Johnson missing the 3, but you know what? With the Pacers, every time they put it up, you're never sure of that rebound. The Nets have dominated the glass in this one. And the Pacers now missed their last 7 from the floor. That'll be a kid 3, and it's off badly.
I think this set, Rick Carlisle would like to see somebody go towards the basket. This guy can go to it too. Jones has some explosive moves.
Granger hits the 3 as the Pacers, who closed out the second quarter nicely, would like to do the same thing here in the third.
And as I said, well, Johnson with the steal. And
they can tie it with a 3. There's Jones thinking about it. Challenges Robinson, nearly twirled home a miracle. 68-65 New Jersey, closing moments of the third. Kristich had a mismatch. They had it with the 6'4" Fred Jones. Jones finally gets called for the foul.
Yeah, and that's one that Jones is frustrated on. Well, there was a little bouncing and grabbing going on, but the pass was an errant pass right there, so the Pacers were probably going to come up with it, but the officials can't make that judgment. They have to call what they see.
Jason Kidd getting that late third quarter rest. Jacques Vaughn in for him. And at Kristich, 7 feet 2'4". His second year for Serbia and Montenegro. Steven Jackson coming back. The second quarter, Miami leading it home against the Chicago Bulls. A pivotal game 5 in that series. They're up 6. That game on TNT tonight. And more at the line for Kristich, who has had 20 or more in 3 of the 4 games in this series. And the free throw gives him 15.
Nets try to pressure as much as they can with Vaughn on the floor. And the Pacers are down to 10 seconds right now. They haven't made one good pass in their offense yet.
Probably the 5th option here in the youngster Harrison. And Carter has another rebound, so he's got 10 boards, making 11 now to go along with his 28 points.
An opportunity maybe for a 2-for-1 here.
Guess the Nets work it right. They have Jefferson here against Jackson, and away they go. Jefferson, the deep deuce, and down it goes for him. Richard Jefferson, another solid performance. He's got 18.
And an opportunity for the Nets to push up a little bit right now. Once again, to take the Pacers out of their set. You look for a steal, but you're looking to take time off the clock here in the 24 seconds.
Got a 5-second difference between the clocks, so the Nets hoping for that final look. Spread the floor for Anthony Johnson against Jacques Vaughn. Johnson, his own miss. Plenty of time for the Pacers. They panic a little bit. Now an opportunity for the Nets, and Robinson threw it away. The Pacers had about 6 seconds to go when they came down with the offensive rebound, but Johnson got it to Harrison, and Harrison, the youngster, threw it up, and he got snuffed. And now the Nets leading by 7 after 3, 72-65. The undermanned Pacers trying their best, but the Nets prevail after 3 as you're watching the 2006 NBA playoffs in high definition right here on NBA TV.
Sean P. Diddy Combs has been using...
I think it's worth a try.
You have nothing to lose and so very much to gain. Go on. Call now.
Getting ready for the start of the fourth quarter of this game 5. The best of 7 knotted at 2, and moments ago Lawrence Frank had his team around him.
Let's make sure we're making all the second effort plays. Guys, shoot it. Don't leak out. Come back and rebound.
One key phrase there from Lawrence Frank: don't leak out. We all have to rebound. He mentioned his team is primarily a gang rebounding team, and they have dominated the glass in this one.
Yeah, they really have, and that's the thing. 37-25, plus 12, and Rick Carlisle, from his perspective, has O'Neal back on the floor. Lawrence Frank understands that this is 12 minutes that everybody goes in this one. This is the game 5. The rest, these guys should be able to just about go from an energy standpoint, a stamina standpoint, so the substitutions are going to be strategy, not because guys don't want to be on the floor.
Pacers have it to start the fourth. Jermaine O'Neal back onto the floor, and he is immediately fouled by Clifford Robinson. And for Robinson, it is personal number 3.
So there were 2 issues, I think, with Rick Carlisle's mindset with O'Neal. Get him to the fourth quarter, and he won that with only 3 fouls. But the differential at 72-65, he lost a point or 2, so he lost that battle. We'll see how it plays into it going from here.
Jones challenges Kristich, count it, and a foul. Fred Jones to the line, looking for the 3-point play as Kristich fouled him.
And some guys get stronger in the air when they challenge. Watch how he comes to the lane, he gets up in the air. Watch his strength, though. Continues to get stronger and more compact as he tries to deliver.
Guy won the slam dunk a couple of years ago.
Yeah. He had a couple of games in college where he was broadcasting his game. You could just see that this kid was going to come and come and come. And I think 3 or 4 years from now, you're going to be looking at a real good player.
By the way, deep background on Fred Jones, was a speed skater in Arkansas, of all places. Consider that as the Nets take possession here in the fourth. Carter with a difficult shot. Of course, he's hit those before.
He has, but I think the key in game 5s right now is who's going to challenge, who's going to go after it like this more frequently.
O'Neal's got a great left hand, and with a follow by Jackson to flush it through.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Rick Carlisle's looking pretty good right now in terms of getting O'Neal off the bench with Jackson and O'Neal just then, and now Rick is probably sitting over there saying, we're ready right now to make a run at the Nets.
Well, they scored the first 5 of this fourth quarter. There's Robinson, nothing doing. The steal by Jones. He's got Jasikevicius, takes it all the way in and scores it. And now Lawrence Frank wants a timeout. The Indiana Pacers minus Peja Stojakovic, minus Jeff Foster, minus Jamal Tinsley. A +7 run here to open up this fourth and final quarter as they come roaring back to lock it up. You're watching the 2006 NBA playoffs in high definition on NBA TV.
EA Sports, to the game.
Back here at Continental Airlines Arena, where the Pacers have burst out of their huddle between quarters to score the first 7 straight.
And you notice O'Neal takes it towards the basket, but Jackson with the finish. And once again, now all of a sudden the steal by Jones. And watch the way he finishes once again. Floats by Carter and continues to go after it. I think these guys care whether they have a uniform on or street clothes on there, up off the bench, trying to will their team.
Well, they won the opener of this series here, and they took, count them, 3 road victories in their first round against the Boston Celtics last year in a playoff matchup. So they're not afraid of trying to get one on the road as Vince Carter, a badly needed hoop for the Nets, their first of the fourth quarter. And oh, by the way, he's got 30 points. Crozier, that's for 3, missing badly. Austin Crozier just 2 of 6. Now, if he's got to do anything, it's got to be hit a 3.
Right, exactly. He's got to do that. But don't be surprised if he puts it on the floor next time he gets it out there with a guy running at him.
Robinson, the deep deuce. Murray, the floorboard. And the Nets here with a fresh 24. While Jim Spinarkle marks him off tonight on NBA TV. The winner of this one goes up in the best of 7, 3 games to 2.
A little zone look just then marked by the Pacers. Confused the Nets a bit. Took some time off the clock.
Indiana has trailed to the lion's share of this game, and by as many as 11. And the Pacers turn it over. That's one thing they've done to their credit, is manage their turnovers.
Yeah, and that had we a chance to speak with Rick Carlisle before this game, and boy, was that ever a concern of his in terms of, you know, the turnovers that are careless one, almost the unforced, kind of like that just then, and more importantly, the ones that go down the other end in a hurry for the Nets.
Pair of starters, Jason Kidd, Jason Collins back, relieving Vaughn and Robinson. Murray off the bench, trying to deliver a three, and he does so. Lamont Murray could still shoot a little bit.
He sure can, especially when you get a Kristich screen like that in that deep corner. Pretty good real estate for Murray. Don't be surprised to see the Nets run his number again in the next one of 2 sets.
Crozier for a three. So your prediction about him putting it on the floor, but he missed another three.
Maybe he should put it on the floor.
Yes, exactly. Now he's got to deal with a 7-footer Kristich.
Nice cut.
A gorgeous one. What a block there. Erasing that by O'Neal.
Boy, that was a terrific spin cut to the basket. Boy, you're right. Was it ever a terrific wipeout by O'Neal?
That's a quick chess match
Yeah,
right there,
really
wasn't
was.
it?
Bang, bang.
The Nets lead at 5. Jones swings it. That's for a three. Carter, and he's met by Jones, and Fred Jones in the backcourt commits the personal foul, his 4th.
Kristich, watch this cut around Crozier. You'll see him now, bang. He's wide open, thinks he has an easy layup, and then he sees O'Neal. He spins around. Instead of staying and attacking the front of the rim, the fact that he spun back away allowed O'Neal to get very good defensive blocking position.
Immediately following this game, we'll bring you Game 5. The Kings and the Spurs, the series locked at 2 games apiece. NBA TV brings you the 2006 playoffs in stunning high definition. Vince Carter denied by O'Neal. Again, his 3rd snuff of the game.
Yeah, I think Johnson was a factor too as the ball left Carter's waist. Nice pass.
Johnson to O'Neal. He is denied and fouled. It'll be 2 at the line for Jermaine O'Neal, who goes to the line for the first time since the 1st quarter.
Yeah, and the thing about that, too, is I think the message has to be sent. You know, we talked about Granger, who's now taking a little break, I guess. Yeah, he's off the floor. But I think Rick Carlisle said, you know, we can settle for 1 opportunity, but I think we have to go to the basket a little bit more frequently.
O'Neal after the foul on Carter. By the way, Vince's 4th. Get NBA playoffs, text alerts sent to your phone, game day reminders, halftime scores, final results, and key stats. Log on to NBA.com or AOL.com/NBA for more details. And now Vince getting a break with those 4 personals and still the better part of this 4th quarter to go.
I like that you get reminders sent to you now, huh?
Yes.
Pretty good stuff, especially when those senior moments take over.
What did you say?
Yeah, pardon me, Bill?
The New Jersey lead down to 3. O'Neal was 16 in the game.
Another 2-3 look, zone-wise, Pacers.
Kristich, the miss. Well, both Carter and Jefferson are now Carter out of the game, so Kristich trying to carry the load as O'Neal gets it in no man's land, but he traveled. That was great position, but he travels with the ball.
Yeah, and he comes out of that with a little half a smile on the face. He knew that was the call. It goes the other way, but boy, pinpoint range with the pass. A tough break for the Pacers, goes the other way.
Here the Nets just 2 of 8 shooting in the quarter.
And that's why you're seeing more and more zone.
Kidd for 3. And the foul coming up as Kristich was fouled.
Pacers are electing with those stat numbers that you just mentioned, Mark, the fact that let's continue to throw a zone at the Nets. They're going to beat us. Let them beat them. Let them force them to take it from the outside. They haven't proven that they're going to really knock them back as of yet. They'll focus on Murray over there, I'm sure.
Good strong move by Kristich, and he will be rewarded with a pair of free throws. Personal foul here, Stephen Jackson. His 3rd, each team already 3 team fouls. Not even 5 minutes gone in this fourth and final quarter.
And when you have a team that plays a 2-3 zone, which the Pacers have shown a couple of times, one of the best spots on the floor to attack is just where their Nets got the ball, right in the middle there, right where Jackson is standing in the middle of the floor. Cut through the middle, look for an opportunity, and then you play a little 2-on-1 game down below.
Wednesday night on TNT, a special playoff doubleheader starting at 6. Bucks Pistons, Game 5. The Pistons up 3-1. Game 5 of the Wizards and Cavaliers. That series locked at 2. The special start time 6 o'clock Wednesday on TNT. 2 for Kristich, who's got 17. Jasikevicius dips in, strokes 2. He has 6 off the bench.
Mark, you've been around NBA a long time. You sense that there's the body language collectively with the Pacers, like they're not, the bus isn't even close to being warmed up here.
You know what? I wouldn't have said that at this morning's shoot-around.
Yeah.
They have clearly changed their demeanor in this game. That's a man's rebound by Nenad Kristich.
Boy, was it ever in a huge, huge bucket here with 6 and change left in this game. And really what that play did, it lifted up this building a little bit because the Pacers have silenced the net fans a little.
Kristich has out-rebounded Jermaine O'Neal in this game, 8-5, indicative of the 11 rebound advantage overall for the Nets team.
You know, we got a packed house here just about in this building. And when the Nets get this thing going up and down and playing well, it gets loud in here. And here's Kristich. Nobody puts a body on him because they're looking into the zone. Nobody picks up the man. He gets a free lane at it. Terrific delivery there.
The last foul on Collins, by the way, his 5th. He remains in the game, in part because Robinson's already played 25 minutes.
Right.
In the second quarter of their Game 5, Miami leading by 7 in the second quarter at home. And now Collins gets a rest. And Robinson in for him. Collins sitting, 5 personals. Here's O'Neal struggling at the line, just 2 of 5. Jermaine O'Neal missing 2 big free throws. This guy shooting 83% for the series. Kidd thinking 3. Jefferson denied. Great defense by the Pacers.
Good purpose dribble there by Jefferson and Kidd. Come up with nothing though. Jefferson almost got a deflection.
O'Neal moving towards the hoop. Robinson's got him fronted. Now here they go. Good quick move by O'Neal. And Jermaine will go back to the line. And he'll get 2 more.
Why not use
Kristich coming over to help out?
Yeah, why not use the fouls?
You are watching 2006 NBA playoffs in high definition on NBA TV.
At Geico.com, you can...
Well, it's become an NBA cliche, but coaches will often tell you it takes more than one man to stop one man.
Absolutely, and here's a great example of the Pacers. Let's watch what they do. They start collapsing. Look at pretty much all 5 guys. I'm going to give Granger in the paint right there. He's in the paint now, but 5 defensive players closing the paint. And think about it. The Nets having trouble shooting the ball from the outside. Pacers have been in the zone, so if the Nets obviously want to drive to the basket, 4 and 5 guys are going to be waiting for them to make life that much more difficult.
So O'Neal, hoping his travails do not continue at the line, where he's 2 of 6, and he'll get 1 more. Vince Carter returning, just past the halfway point of this 4th and final quarter. Vince playing with bulging numbers, 30 points, 13 boards, 6 assists, and 4 personals. O'Neal just 1 of 2. So in a 4-point game, Jermaine O'Neal has missed 5 free throws.
Right, and 3 out of his last 4, which start to add up.
O'Neal is playing with a touch of the fluid. There's a nice
watch out.
Kristich, and there is O'Neal making sure that Kristich does not have a shot at the hoop. In doing so, he commits personal number 4. That'll put the Pacers at the team foul limit, and the Nets, by the way, already in the penalty.
Yeah, look at Carter. We don't talk a whole lot about Vince because he does so many spectacular things on the floor, but better and better this season for the Nets in terms of releasing the ball. He has 6 assists. Could have picked up 1 just then also.
Jefferson giving it up. Jasikevičius with a piece of it, only 3 to shoot. Carter forcing the issue as 2 Pacers go flying.
Well, we just showed a replay, didn't we, of 5 guys sitting in the paint, and that's the byproduct of trying to get in there. Vince Carter picking up his 5th foul, coming through the lane, and blue shirts are just waiting for him. Here comes Vince. Now watch the close. Yeah, a little picky with the way this is played, but Granger knows it. You see Granger right there. He knows he has the call down below.
So Carter, 5 personals, 5-17, and he gave the big stop sign to Lawrence Frank saying, hey, get rid of any idea of getting me out of the game at this point. Jasikevičius, boy, showing some real speed there. Unfinished business for him. Jefferson, count it, and a foul, the blocking foul on Jackson.
Well, if you're a young viewer at home thinking about playing basketball, you like to play basketball, think about putting the ball on the floor with a purpose. Watch Richard Jefferson go to town. Now, kid, also, here's the lesson. Give the ball up and let him strike where he can catch and go with it. But look at the way Jefferson's body continues to go towards the basket, even with a defender in his way. Boy, he is terrific at it.
24 fast break points in the game for New Jersey. Jefferson now with 20. Foul on Jackson, his 4th. Both teams in the penalty. So foul shooting will be critical here in crunch time as Jefferson completes the 3-point play. Jefferson and Carter combining for 51 of the Nets' 84. And now we have a timeout. A tick under 5 to go here in the 4th quarter. You continue to watch the 2006 NBA playoffs in high definition on NBA TV. Tradition of basketball and service to the community. Richard Jefferson once went to Africa with his parents as a missionary. So he is no stranger to service, not only in his community, but throughout the world. Here are the Pacers now out of the timeout. They're down 7.
Clifford Robinson keeping it away from O'Neal so far.
Jackson for 3. Pacers just 6 of 20 from beyond. Jackson has Carter. Granger has had a fistful of rebounds in this game. He's got a dozen to go along with his 9 points.
Well, there's the touch finally to O'Neal. Let's see how Clifford Robinson deals with him.
He's got the isolation. Jefferson flirting with a double.
There's that reload.
O'Neal got it done. Kristich came over to help out, to no avail. O'Neal with 19.
And he drifted away from the double team, which is a good point, Mark. He saw that. The guy's stepping up, and what do? You have to float away from it.
Under 4 to play, the net lead at 5. The winner goes up 3 games to 2.
Still a zone look right here from the Pacers.
Kidd able to pierce it, searching out Jefferson. A kickball called by the official, Mike Callahan. So the shot clock, which was down as low as 5, recycled to 14. Fred Jones, he does have 5 personal fouls, and he comes in for Sharunas Jasikevičius. Played well off the bench. Contributing 6 points.
I think you need his explosiveness on the floor.
Trying to deal with Carter. There's Kidd giving it up. Kristich. And Kidd, a huge rebound.
Well, good stay by Jason Kidd. The tendency there from the guard's perspective, and I think I would have drifted back with Kristich shooting it the way he shoots it from that spot open.
And that's with a 14 rebound advantage in this game as Kristich is denied by O'Neal inside.
Well,
Big block by O'Neal.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Continues number 4 for him. What big plays out of there.
Granger working over the 7-footer Kristich, helped by Kidd. Johnson gives it up. Granger dips in. Nothing doing. O'Neal hauls it down, and the Pacers here with a fresh 24. That's a Johnson 3, and he rimmed it. And finally, into the waiting arms of Robinson.
And he did have a lane to drive that to the basket if he wanted it.
Carter with a quick 3. I ask you why, as Jones outduels Kristich.
I don't have an answer for you, but that was a great outduel. You said it, by Jones down deep with the taller Kristich, who had pretty good position offensively.
And Jones at 6'4", it remains a 5-point game.
Here goes the run out. Jones goes to isolate O'Neal.
Against Robinson. Great defense by Robinson, and he forced the traveling violation. Clifford Robinson at 39, able to shadow Jermaine O'Neal and force the travel.
And he shadowed him, Mark, for that 5 or 6, 7 second count. He's not budging for the fake there. Not here. Let's see the steps. There's the pivot foot. Yeah, that's a great call. Terrific call from the officials. He took 3 steps just then.
Clifford Robinson, a guy who runs in sand over the summer to keep in shape, had some quick feet there defending Jermaine O'Neal as we are in the midst of the timeout here with 2:14 to go in the 4th. And the New Jersey Nets, who have led through the lion's share of this game, leading right now 84-79.
That's how people used to describe me running in deep sand.
Immediately following this game, we'll bring you Game 5, the Kings and Spurs, the series locked at 2 apiece. NBA TV brings you the 2006 playoffs in stunning high definition. Running in sand.
Problem was it
at your best.
Yeah, it felt like I was up to my waist in it the way I ran.
So now the Nets, I would think, would at least try to wring out the majority of the clock here on this possession with 2:14 to go.
Yeah, they will. What they'll want to do is they'll want to test both sides of the floor, but against the zone it's different, and it continues to be a zone. But look at the middle of the floor. The middle of the floor will open up.
Jefferson, the collision and the offensive foul, Richard Jefferson.
And usually the middle of the floor by pass will open up. By dribble, the seam closes. Watch Johnson step in. He's got himself pretty good position right there. Good call from the officiating crew. I guess you could say this is a huge possession right here, huh?
Austin Crozier has come on, replacing Danny Granger. Granger has played well, and Crozier has struggled. But it's Crozier, the veteran, in place of the rookie Granger on the floor with under 2 minutes to go in the final quarter. O'Neal gets the call again. Fred Jones got it. Large hoop for the Pacers as Jones got up for 2 of his 12.
Boy, did he ever get up. A large elevation just then to get off the floor and hang just a touch.
Now it's a 3-point game. 90 seconds to go. Final quarter, Game 5. The series locked at 2 games apiece. Jefferson for 3. Got it! A major 3 from Richard Jefferson.
And the release by Carter for his 7th assist. Nice double work over there by 2 of the 3 major players for the offensive side of things for the Nets tonight.
Crozier for 3, and down it goes. Wow.
Oh, man. Crozier, you have to give him credit. A guy who's been struggling shooting the ball for the most part tonight. A huge bucket in delivery. And here we go with that zone look again.
They begin to rise here at Continental Airlines Arena. Carter thinking 3, dips in and strokes 2.
A great decision by Carter. That's a terrific basketball play. It's simple, but it's terrific in the sense that, hey, the guy just went by me. I can fire this ball up and settle for a long shot. People don't think NBA players, Mark, nowadays can hit that mid-range 15-footer. They just don't take it a whole lot. This shows you that he can knock it back, and also Jefferson can go deep and long range, as we see right here.
Immediately following this game, we'll bring you Game 5. The Sacramento Kings taking 2 on their home floor against the defending world champion San Antonio Spurs. So that series is now locked at 2 games apiece. NBA TV brings you the 2006 playoffs in stunning high definition. And again, that game immediately following this one. It'll be game 5, the Kings and Spurs. And this one, the winner goes up 3 games to 2. We have alternated winners from game 1, where Jermaine O'Neal and the Pacers took game 1. The Nets answered definitively in game 2. The Pacers dominated game 3 in a win, and the Nets dominated in a game 4 victory at Conseco Fieldhouse. Now at Continental Airlines Arena with 3 regulars injured for the Pacers. They have been a very game bunch in this one, though the Nets have led throughout, and there's Jacques Vaughn into the game for defensive purposes, bothering and then fouling Fred Jones, and every foul on the defensive end is free throws now with both teams in the penalty.
And you see the frustration on Lawrence Frank's face, and also Jacques Vaughn there, because what it does is play perfectly into what the Pacers want. Lawrence knows that it stops the clock, puts a guy on the line to put 2 more points up on the board for the Pacers against Lawrence's team. So 4-point game right now with a good shooter at the line.
Granger in for his defense, taking the place of Crozier, who hit a huge 3 moments ago. In Miami, the Heat and the Bulls going at it, and Miami's lead a mere 2 over the Chicago Bulls, and that pivotal game 5 at the American Airlines Arena in Miami. 2 for Jones, and right now it's a 3-point game with 50.3 remaining in this 4th and final quarter. You're watching the 2006 NBA playoffs at high definition right here on NBA TV.
Would you like?
You would know from the Indiana Pacers body language at this morning's shoot-around here that they would play as well as they have in this game, let alone the fact that they're missing 3 regulars. Peja Stojakovic missing his 3rd game of the series. No Jamal Tinsley, that was expected. Unexpected, the absence of starting center Jeff Foster with a back injury. But as Stojakovic watches from the bench, the Pacers have given the Nets all they can handle here. And right now it's a 3-point game with exactly 50 seconds to play in this 4th and final quarter. The winner goes up 3 games to 2 in this best of 7.
Yeah, see, this is where I think it makes sense to give the ball back to Kidd and let him direct the traffic rather than Carter. Get it to him when he has right now 8 on the shot clock. Now you go with it if you're Vince Carter.
He's got Granger on him. He went for the ball fake, and Carter went in virtually untouched and deposits 2 of his 34.
Absolutely well done by the Nets. Get the ball to Carter as a decoy, give it back to Jason Kidd, and let him make the decisions until it comes down to the time on the clock when you want to go. You give Carter a little bit of an advantage. It's all about clock management. Nice little head fake, ball fake, and we talk about it in the open tonight, Mark. Way back at the beginning of the broadcast, we talked about the first couple of things you started with. Will Vince Carter go to the basket and challenge people? There's your answer right there. It comes up with big dividends for the New Jersey Nets.
Carter with a nice ball fake on the rookie Granger. And of course, if Ron Artest was around, he'd be guarding Carter, but that is way past history.
Yeah, he's having a little thing, something to do with the Kings in their series.
Yeah, you'll see them next here on NBA TV as they go against the Spurs in Game 5.
They have the Spurs thinking.
Each team with 1 full timeout. And the Pacers here have to score, and then in all likelihood, I would think, will be forced to foul.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, even though they're down 5 right now, still 28.9 seconds left. Watch for them to try to get to the basket in a hurry, to try to get to the line and pick up a foul if they can. And then if you need to, kick the ball out after you've tested to go in and look for a seam to drive.
Carter has Jones streaking off the ball. They set up Crozier for a 3. Now Jones with a healthy 3. Nothing doing. Need a rebound if you're the Pacers, and now they have to foul. As Kidd gets it with 15.5 to go, and we walk the floor. And Jason Kidd will go to the line for the first time tonight.
And Jason Kidd is the guy that the New Jersey Nets, forget about the stats right now in terms of who shoots well at the free throw line. This is the guy you want at the free throw line.
That said, Kidd has gone to the line only 6 times in the entire series, hitting 4.
80% shooter on for the year.
And he's Jason Kidd.
Yeah, that's why you want him on the line. That's why some of the Net fans are leaving right now thinking they got this thing sealed up. Because now he turns us into a 3-possession game. If he makes it.
Now a pair of threes theoretically ties it again. The Pacers 1 full timeout. There's Johnson for 3. Nothing doing. O'Neal reaching for the miss. It goes out of bounds, but precious seconds off the clock if you're an Indiana fan. 6.3 to go. Down a pair of threes.
Well, is Reggie Miller on this team?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay.
After 18 years, he's finally done.
He's hit some big ones here in the game 5 not too long ago.
Crozier taking too much time. That's going to do it. Jackson missing the 3, and the Nets go up 3 games to 2 in the best of 7 as they lead this series for the first time. Vince Carter with monster numbers. Jason Kidd had 15 assists as the Nets can wrap it up now on Thursday at Indiana in a game 6. Should the Pacers prevail in that one, a game 7 would be back here at Continental Airlines Arena on Thursday. Vince Carter, 34, 15 rebounds, a playoff career high, and 7 assists. A 13 rebound edge for the Nets. That's a big part of their story here tonight at Continental Airlines Arena as they win this game by 6, 92 to 86, though the Pacers gave them all they could handle. And again, Indiana down 3 regulars, including Peja Stojakovic, and Jermaine O'Neal was slow to get started, but Anthony Johnson kept them afloat early. Rookie Danny Granger played well, and off the bench, Fred Jones gave them a spark with 14 points. But in the end, the Nets win it by a score of 92 to 86. And again, game 6 coming up Thursday at Indiana.